What if this moment, right now, is not happening for the first time? What if every thought you've ever had, every choice you believe was free, every mistake you regret, and every dream you chase, has already happened before? And what if, after everything ends, it all starts again, exactly the same? Not as a metaphor, not as a story, but as reality itself. Imagine waking up every day believing life moves forward, while in truth, you're moving in a circle so vast that you can't see its edges. A loop so perfect that it feels like progress. A cycle so precise that even your doubts were planned. What if time isn't a straight line, but a closed system? What if the universe is replaying itself endlessly, and we are trapped inside its repetition? Welcome to Information World. Today, we explore one of the most disturbing and fascinating ideas ever considered by science, philosophy, and even ancient civilizations. What if we are living in a loop? To understand this idea, we must first question something we almost never doubt: time itself. We are taught that time flows from the past, through the present, into the future. We imagine it like a river, always moving forward, never turning back. But physics tells a very different story. At the most fundamental level of reality, the equations that govern the universe do not care about time's direction. Many of them work just as well forward as they do backward. This raises a shocking possibility: the arrow of time may not be a law of nature, but an illusion created by our perception. If time is not fundamentally linear, then a loop becomes possible. Now consider the universe as a closed system. All matter, all energy, all information contained within it. According to the laws of physics, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. If the universe is finite in its possible states but infinite in duration, then eventually, every configuration must repeat. Not once, not twice, but infinitely. This idea is known as eternal recurrence. The same stars, the same earth, the same you, living the same life, making the same choices, feeling the same emotions, again and again, forever. You may ask, if this is true, why don't we remember previous loops? The answer may be simple, and terrifying. Memory itself may reset. Your brain is a physical system. When the universe returns to an earlier state, your brain returns with it. Every neuron, every synapse, every memory erased, not by force, but by physics. From your perspective, this life feels like the first and only one. But in reality, it could be iteration number infinity plus one. Some scientists suggest that black holes may play a role in cosmic loops. When matter falls into a black hole, information appears to vanish. But modern physics suggests that information is never truly lost. Instead, it may be transformed, recycled, or redistributed. Now imagine a universe that collapses back into itself after expanding for trillions of years. A big crunch, followed by another big bang, and another, and another. Each cycle giving birth to a universe almost identical to the one before. A cosmic heartbeat. Expansion, collapse, rebirth. Over and over again. But loops don't need to be cosmic to be real. Look at human behavior. We repeat patterns constantly. Relationships, mistakes, conflicts, dreams. Societies rise and fall in cycles. Empires collapse only to be rebuilt under different names. Technology advances, but human nature remains unchanged. History doesn't repeat exactly, but it rhymes. What if this repetition isn't psychological, but structural? What if consciousness itself is part of a loop? Some philosophers argue that awareness is not produced by the brain, but filtered by it. If that's true, consciousness could be a fundamental property of the universe, like space or energy. In a looping universe, consciousness may simply re-enter the same pathways again and again. You don't move through time. Time moves through you. This raises an unsettling question. Do we have free will in a loop reality? If every event repeats exactly, then your choices are not truly choices. They are outcomes of prior states. Determined. Fixed. Inevitable. But there is another possibility. What if the loop is not perfectly closed? What if each cycle allows tiny variations? A slightly different thought. A slightly different decision. A microscopic divergence that compounds over time. This would mean you are not reliving the exact same life, but a near identical one with subtle changes. A loop with evolution. In this model, free will exists, but only within boundaries. You cannot escape the loop, but you can influence how it unfolds. This idea appears in quantum mechanics. At the quantum level, reality is probabilistic, not deterministic. Multiple outcomes exist until one is observed. If quantum effects influence large-scale systems, then even a looping universe could produce variation. You may be repeating your life. But not exactly. Now let's go deeper. Some physicists suggest that time itself could be circular. Just as space can curve, time may curve back onto itself. In such a universe, there is no beginning and no end. Every point in time leads to another, eventually returning to itself. The future causes the past. The past causes the future. A self-consistent loop. In this framework, paradoxes disappear. Everything that happens must happen, because it already did. This could explain why the universe appears finely tuned for life. Not because it was designed, but because only self-consistent loops can exist. Any universe that contradicts itself collapses instantly. We exist because existence is stable. Now think about déjà vu. That strange feeling that you've lived a moment before. A flicker of recognition without memory. Many dismiss it as a brain glitch. But what if it's something else? What if déjà vu is a fracture in the loop? A moment where the brain briefly senses repetition without knowing why. A whisper from another cycle. Even dreams may play a role. Dreams often ignore linear time. Past, present, and future blend together. Your mind naturally escapes the arrow of time when consciousness loosens its grip. Maybe your brain knows something your waking mind does not. Now let's address the most disturbing implication. If we are living in a loop, suffering repeats too. Every pain. Every loss. Every injustice. Again and again. This idea terrified philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche, who believed eternal recurrence was the ultimate test of one's love for life. If you had to live your exact life infinitely many times, would you embrace it, or despair? But perhaps the loop is not a prison. Perhaps it is a test. If consciousness persists through cycles in ways we don't yet understand, then growth may accumulate even if memory does not. The universe may be refining itself through repetition, learning what works and what doesn't. You forget. But the system remembers. In this sense, the loop is not meaningless. It is a process. A cosmic algorithm running until stability is achieved. Or maybe, until awareness awakens. And here's the final twist. What if breaking the loop is impossible? What if the only escape is acceptance? If this life is repeated forever, then every moment matters infinitely. Every act of kindness echoes eternally. Every choice defines not just one life, but infinite lives. Meaning doesn't disappear in a loop. It multiplies. So the real question isn't whether we are living in a loop. The real question is this. If this life repeats forever, how do you want to live it? Because whether time is linear or circular, this moment is real. And it's happening now. If this video made you question reality even a little, make sure to like it and subscribe to Information World for more deep explorations into the mysteries of existence. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and never stop exploring the unknown.